All right, so today we're talking about our leaders. Where are they? Why? And if they're not around, if we don't have any, why don't we?
Scared to
Um,
die.
Black leadership in our community.
This
I
could be
want
an
to
exciting
I
topic.
want to start it off today because this is my sentiment about black leaders today. That even if I know this is kind of may sound cynical, but even if a black leader did rise, we have so many people who would try to pull him down in our own community as far as like jealousy and envy, I guess. I don't know what you would call it. But it seems like we don't want to follow nobody. We all got our own minds to do our own thing. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
I don't know if we got our own mind. This
trust. I guess we don't trust each other. That's where we are lacking at right now. Is that trust? We don't trust anybody, so therefore can't. Well, focus on one leader because we don't trust them.
I would say there's plenty of leaders everywhere, all over the place, right?
Okay.
And when I say leaders, let's leave it like a loose definition, right? A leader is just somebody who has a following, right? So let's say in each one of these churches that we see across the city, there's a leader in those churches, right or wrong. Somebody's leading it.
Come on,
right?
stop it, man. Don't get me started.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
There's leaders.
I'm just waiting.
Definition, brother, but we'll go with it. All
right. Look at in politics. We got leaders. We got leaders from our respective districts. I don't know if there's any leaders that we as a collective let's call us African Americans can point to say these are a group of leaders. We say these are our leaders. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. If you ask each one of us to come up with 5 leaders, that's in the leader that's in part in the leadership of the black community. We all come up with the same 5 people.
So I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna jump in right here because you said churches. Right. And it's interesting because Wilson Good, who became the first black mayor of the 6th largest city in the United States of America, became the first black mayor because of the black clergy and their ability to congregate or to get to come together to have a joint a message that made us get to the polls to elect this black man. All right. So there has been leadership, especially here in Philadelphia. I can't speak on anywhere else. I'm not going to. I'm going to speak on what I think I might know a little bit about. But that has dissipated because there has been just an ability to infest our leaders, if you will, our black men or black these black beings with just greed, maybe ego. Hold on, I gotta turn my computer off because I hear an echo. And just sloppiness, just some things that really show that we weren't necessarily truly prepared.
Prepared for leadership.
Prepared for leadership, for true leadership.
Greed the number one. Greed the number one.
Can I ask Miss Leslie one quick question?
Yeah.
What part do you think that not only you said the clergy, and I agree with you, they did come and they did rally behind Wilson Good to become mayor of Philadelphia, but what part did Rizzo play in being the antagonist of basically the black community?
Do you have an actual thought on that? Because I wouldn't say that I have a real thought on that. I mean, Rizzo was just a very good.
Well, yeah, I think when you have a guy like Rizzo, right? When you have that type of person as the mayor who was really coming down on us, we could see that how he treated black folks. You can see what he did with the Panthers, but that was also during the time of strong black leadership because we had.
But no, it wasn't. It wasn't necessarily.
Hold on. Let me finish. Because you also, you also had people like Blackwell. You had people. You had
Rizzo was mayor before Mayor Green, and
Yeah,
Wilson Good was mayor after Mayor Green.
Right. What I'm saying is he made strong black leaders, right? Because the opposition was strong, right? And I think when the opposition is strong and we see that the oppressor is really, having his foot on the necks of black folks, it organizes us better, and we become more organized, and our leadership has to be stronger.
He was kind of Trumpy.
I don't know. I really could not speak intelligently on that because when Rizzo was mayor, I think I was like 4. You know what I mean? But I will say this: I have a friend whose father was a police officer under Rizzo, and a black man, and he actually felt that he did not feel that Rizzo was a racist or dismissive police commissioner. To that entity.
I heard the same thing, Leslie. I heard the same thing.
Mary Mason didn't feel that, but see, they were friends with a group of blacks that actually did feel that way. But we see what happened with the Panthers.
But let me tell you something. Leadership requires that you're able to deal with all types. True leadership is getting things done. And I'm going to tell you something. Today, with where we are today, we can build this with history, X, Y, Z. But where we are today, we have a bunch of black politicos, X, Y, Z, that many people say aren't doing anything. Well, they're not. They are doing little things. But they're not doing things en masse because we don't have a collective message that we are trying to affect for our community.
Everybody wants theirs. It's an individual.
Everybody wants to get reelected.
It's an individual game, and it's not just on the political side. It's from the bottom to the top. Everybody wants theirs.
And that's why democracy can be challenged. You know what I mean? That's why it only took like 200. I think Mayor Kenny won with like 200,000 votes, which is the lowest vote total for a winning mayor in like ever. You know what I mean? And it is really unfortunate because you look at these other. When you look at. And you know what? I'm going to stop that thought right there, and I'm going to tell you this. One of the reasons why democracy is challenged and why we don't have true leadership, in my opinion, is because the affirmative action babies, the affirmative action, recipients or whatever, beneficiaries, they got into power. And they really let a chasm form between them and the next group of leaders. They didn't necessarily raise their children to be that. They entitled us, and I claim it proudly. Yes, I am a beneficiary of an affirmative action beneficiary. You know what I mean? They did not really raise us to be like that, and that has now caused a rift. And now you have state representatives, council people that really just don't know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. They don't know. They just are kind of finding their way.
And again, what you're saying is, I agree, but it's not just the political. That's from top to bottom in every department, every facet of leadership. You see that. You see a bunch of unprepared, I don't want to say young, but just unprepared. They're not knowledgeable the way they should be. Their social IQs, things that leaders, like you say, have to have. They're not prepared. It was not passed on. I feel like it was a gap, maybe 30, 40-year gap where blacks felt like they arrived and that was it. It was over. We made it to the promised land. Now we can it's over. And in that time, like you say, the enemy gets stronger, but they re-strategize. And instead of coming at us, like you said, B1, I agree, they realize you push them hard, they're going to push back hard. We have to come at them differently.
But another thing is, with the whole thing about looking for leadership or looking for a leader, right? I think might be problematic because you kind of abdicate your own responsibility to act on your own best interests, and you look for somebody else to kind of do things for you.
I agree
right?
with that.
I think political leadership is necessary because of the system that we live in. But again, what do we want these political leaders to do? What do we want them to advocate for? right?
And that's the point. What do we want them to advocate for? And we have not come, there's no collective reality of what that want is.
Right. And that's the biggest problem. The dysfunction or the disorganization of thought of our thinking, right? To a point where we can say this is what we want collectively, right? Okay, so, and we can take that to a political leader because they're in the political process, and then they can begin to work for us, right? But I think that education on the individual level about what each of us need to be doing,
what everyone's responsibility actually is. Amen. Preach.
Exactly. So then we don't have to look for leadership, but then our leaders would be responsible to us because we would put them there with a mission, right? With a purpose.
I'm thinking about Schoolhouse Rock. I'm just a bill on Capitol Hill.
Right. No, we was being educated though. They stopped that.
They stopped that. I used to like that.
We came up understanding what a bill was because they were seriously, right? True. So they cut that out. Now the kids don't even have a connection to politics or even know what a bill is or anything like that. But the thing is this: those of us who see what's happened, we now have to say, you know what? This is what they're doing, right? We have to say we have to put and reinstitute these things. If our community is going to rise up, we have to.
If I may piggyback on what you just said, and it's an important intersection right here. However, we were talking about true selves and this and third the last time I was on, and it's interesting because even the powers that be, if us, the five of us, were like, oh, this is one of my thoughts on a solution, the powers that be that might be able to put us, that we might have to actually ask to put us in place to help these young people. And I'm gonna give you a quick example. Like I would love to join I would love to join this school to help the student council. You know, they just started a student council, and I sat in on a meeting, and the leader, quote unquote, she had no idea what she was doing, totally lost control of the whole thing, just didn't guide the young people in what their roles and responsibilities were as representatives for their classes. Now, I would love to be in that mix where I could help guide the thinking and the equation that equals a solution to one of their problems in the school that a student council might be able to change. And then that young person can actually feel what his or her work could produce. And that, I do believe, leads to the ballot box. You know what I mean? I believe that that's the kind of thing that helps build leaders when they can feel what their work, you know what I mean, can produce. And we just have not had that. That is something that is vacated in our school system, in our schools, in our communities, if you will. Todd, I know you were a community organizer, not necessarily doing that so much anymore. But if you go back to why you did that and some of your triumphs, your successes, you know what I mean, that encouraged you, didn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And to be honest with you, my experience is only takes a few people to make a change in something, right? In the system. Let's say we all had put the same shirt on, just 5 of us walked in there one by. They think we a big group of people. They won't know it's only 5 of us, right? But yeah, but the thing is this though, when you see that, like say you were aware of what was going on in that meeting, right? This is actually what leaders do. Leaders see problems. Leaders see, like, you know what? This is how this should go. Leadership is almost a calling. When you see and recognize a problem and you want to fix it, right? Not everybody has that thought, right? So the people who have that thought, it's like the person who sees the mess in the street. It's actually their job to clean it up. Everybody ain't see it. Everybody don't care as much about it. You seen it, you recognize it. So maybe it's your job to clean it up, because without you, it might not get cleaned up, right? So leaders are simply the people who take the initiative to correct things. Right. And so if we have that idea that this needs correcting, and I have the idea of how to correct it, that's the first indication of, okay, maybe I need to take on a position of leadership. And it's also like some people say leaders are born. I don't necessarily believe that, but it's true in some cases. Some people are just born leaders.
They are born.
They are born. I believe
Right.
that.
And there lies the issue, and that has to do with the COINTELPRO and Hoover and what they talk about with deflating the Black Messiah.
I don't go with that. I don't go with that.
I go with it because
no, but listen, only reason why I say is because I've seen it in the past where somebody wasn't necessarily a leader, but they had to take on a leadership role because circumstances indicated that they had to step into that role. Just keep looking for somebody that we think is stronger than us because they have a certain personality, then we're going to keep comparing ourselves to people that we think are greater than us. There are no such thing as great people. There are only regular people who do great things.
All right, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this real quick.
Makes a great leader.
Let me ask you. Let me ask this to everybody on the panel here. Then. So, talking about great leaders and being born and regular people doing great things. So, do you think it's too many of us just sitting back waiting for Superman to come?
Yes. Yeah, because we think that person is going, we want to be awed and wooed, right? And we find out that these are regular people at the end of the day, right? If you find, all right, let's say Martin Luther King, for instance, right? He had a powerful voice. He used their skills, he was born into that family. And maybe you would say, oh, well, this was that God sent him. Or maybe he decided when he got hit upside the head and the white kids, maybe he decided to go in that direction and become a leader. Right? Maybe it was a conscious decision. Right? So all I'm saying is if we wait for somebody to make a decision, is what we're waiting for. We wait for somebody to make a decision to lead us.
We got a greater problem than that. It's a deeper problem than that. We're not even waiting for that.
We ain't even think. Well, some people
waiting. Some people waiting for the Messiah.
Leader. You're talking. We're acting as if we're even waiting for this person. We're not even doing that. It's just a bunch of individuals with their eyes down, tail between their legs. They just want to get their bi-weekly check. They just want to live and act like the world around them is just comfortably numb.
Or they just or they just want to. They want their kids to like them. They want to. They grown up with they want to be bulls with their children. They want to be. They want their mom to take care of X, Y, Z. They want to pass the buck.
It's over for that. They've infiltrated us so heavy, and they've learned how to. Again, it goes back to some things we talked about before. They've learned how to weaken us with our sensories. They've infiltrated us, so it's like they know what to do.
This is the thing, right? This is the thing, right? All right, so
black folks lost, man. But we can talk about it all day. We lost.
We lost.
We lost, man.
We lost. You're talking about the world, right?
No, not the world. I'm talking about
the American black. The American black person
is lost.
But how we lost?
We lost, and some people don't take offense to this. Oh well, too.
How can we find ourselves?
Well, I'm gonna tell you. Listen, I give you the solution to how you find yourself. Here's the first solution. We have to actually say to ourselves, we have to have an incubation period. Black people got to back up from other people, man. We got to stop trying to be the in everything with everybody. We got to back up. We got to back up. We don't own anything economically. Like I'll give you an example. The city of Philadelphia, every time I bring people from the West Coast here, they love it. Black people. Oh my God, all these black people. But damn, black people don't control nothing.
I remember I felt.
And actually, we are one of the poorest. I think we're the poorest large city in America.
Yeah, come on. You got to
hold on, but Nesto,
start with the money.
15 years ago, right? We had a black mayor, black commissioner, black fire chief, black DA. We had black everything. All the positions of leadership were held by black people in this city. All of them.
And what happened?
What happened is a lot of them. Some of them went to jail and got caught.
Actually, 17 years ago, actually, that mayor actually did help make another kind of a little level of wealth for black folks.
He did, and he cleaned up the city. Yes.
We talking
Street,
about,
right?
Mayor Street. Yep. Neighborhood transformation, took down all them nasty big ass projects.
Yeah. Philly was the
And Michael
model
Nutter
city.
stopped it.
Let me just say something. Why do we do have leaders? How come our leaders get charged
Get
with
got.
corruption? Like
Greed,
Well,
man.
that's
It's
a good
greed.
question.
It's the number
No, it's
one.
sheer sloppiness. It's sloppiness. It's excuse me, time out. It's sloppiness. It's sloppiness. Because trust me, before the street that time period, the mayor Vince Fumo, yeah, he went down on corruption. But you know for how much? Fucking pardon me, a couple millions. But yet in the street administration, that boy is gonna go after Corey Kemp for $15,000. That is sheer sloppiness. Look at Kenyatta Johnson right now today and his wife. Sheer sloppiness. You're being sloppy, even though they didn't hung jury this and third, but it wasn't a not guilty. Don't get that messed up. And I'm sorry. Did you say we could curse or we can't curse?
You curse, that's fine.
Okay, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Sheer sloppiness. All right, sloppiness.
The sloppiness comes from the lack of leadership and knowing how to be a leader, and that's what I mean by
No,
being
it comes from the lack of leadership. I'm not sure if leadership is really the issue because my dad was up in that. You know what I mean? But we did not get and we did obviously we weren't guilty. Didn't go to jail because he's not sloppy and he didn't do anything wrong. You know what I mean? But the point being, or they couldn't find anything wrong. But here's the thing: when you cut corners, when you think this, when you think, what did I say about going to the middle of the plantation and getting back for your water? This is what you got to do. You got to work that from the alpha to omega thinking on every decision that you make when you're a leader. When you're in the position of leadership, it's the heavy crown. And that is something that a lot of people just not ready.
They're not ready for. Master degrees in 2022 make
don't mean
leaders.
shit.
That's the politics of it. You got a post education, they'll put you in the seat and make you a boss in any job.
Well, I think
no intangibles, no skill set, no cultural IQ, no real resilience in
I mean, they still writing in emojis. Even in your in your master's classes, they sending emojis and shit.
See what I'm saying? This is your leaders. This is the leaders.
Can I just jump right in here for one second? Now I'm just gonna push back here and see what y'all think about this. Their predecessors that came before them, their white predecessors that came before them. Do you subscribe to this theory, or maybe not even a theory, but maybe a fact that they seen their predecessors before them do the same things that they were doing,
right?
But then they didn't get caught. But then
No, they didn't. They didn't because the black bull never saw really what the white bull was doing. No, they never did. The black bull was never in the inside meeting. You know what I'm saying? Nope, never.
Well, one thing we did know, we knew that that people were doing. When you get in a position of political leadership, giving out contracts to friends and all that, we know that goes on. We weren't the first group of people to start that.
My dad was listen, and what's your point on that? Because I definitely have something to say on that.
My point is this: when you get into the position of leadership and you start getting funding, they even say if you run a nonprofit organization and a for-profit, you start moving money around. This is what blacks started to do because they figured, then this is the sloppiness that you're talking about because they were doing things that they knew other people were doing, right? But these things were, if looked at carefully, they might be in some legal trouble by funding certain monies that they got and funding other ventures that they were involved in. I mean, I've seen it happen with school, with the charter school.
Well, that's what Kenyatta just almost got gagged for.
Right, but so we know that. So, and that's what you're talking about with the sloppiness. When you get into a position, knowing that you're being looked at, you're being scrutinized, they're watching you now because you're a black person in a position trying to help people, right? Why are they watching Kenyatta? They was watching
he's black. Because he's black and they can't beat him. Because he's black and they can't beat him. That's why they did that to him.
That's what I'm saying.
So actually, Kenyatta was not necessarily sloppy because he did not get in. He didn't. He wasn't found. He and his wife weren't found guilty. However,
but the thing is, they were watching him.
Right.
Right.
But he stood. But he stood fast and knew that he did not break the law, knew he didn't go that far across. So I'm going to take that part back on Kenyatta. He wasn't sloppy necessarily, you know what I mean? Because he did not get, he was not found guilty, convicted rather.
So what you saying, Mr. Presley, is he wasn't sloppy, but they was trying to sling mud.
That we're trying to sling mud because they keep primarying him. They cannot get him out. They can't get him out.
But
they want to develop so much of his district.
Yeah.
They want him out.
Trust me, y'all don't want to go in with me on these kinds of things. This is my fucking game.
Leslie, we do, because those are the things that I saw happen to my city, and they ousted politicians.
So hold up, Leslie.
Reason.
Let me ask you this.
They wanted the districts. They want to gentrify, flatten it, do these contracts with out-of-towners.
My point is this, right? When Mayor Street got in office, everybody he was interacting with, their phones were tapped.
Yes.
Everybody. All right. So what only point I'm trying to backward and see the question of leadership and being in political leadership is you have to be clean enough.
I want to respond to
that sort of stuff, right? You have to be thorough enough not to be caught up accepting a $3,000 gift and going to jail.
I want to speak on this.
Huh? But I'm just saying though, this is what happened.
May I speak to that? May I speak to that?
Sure.
Okay, because you may know this, but I'm not sure if everybody else does. My dad was the Secretary of External Affairs, a position he created in the street administration, right? And he is the one who actually gave out all of the no bid or the no look bids. I mean contracts, right? We talk about giving contracts to friends. He has lost many quote unquote friends because he didn't give them contracts because they was niggas. Don't get it fucked up. Sorry, maybe we shouldn't say that word, but you know what I mean. And because he knew that their businesses were sloppy. Period. Now, Mayor Street, you talk about phones being tapped. Actually, Mayor Street's office actually was the only one that was not tapped. My dad's phones were tapped, isn't there, whatever. But you know why? What did you just say? You got to be thorough enough. And I'm so proud. I love my dad so much. He's my moon and my star, but I just love him, period. He's just he is the smartest man I know. Thorough enough to know where you can go and what is too far. And there a lot of stuff in the paper, the transcripts about this. You remember Brian White? We need you to do this. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Click. You know what I mean? Because you have to know when to say when. Period. Now, the idea of all of those things, John Street and my dad did this. He protected him because John Street had a vision for this city, the neighborhood transformation, which got rid of a lot of those high-rise projects. This and the third, granted this mixed-use home ownership, X, Y, and Z, kind of changed the landscape of our city.
All right, so let's say, all right, so and that's one form of leadership, because I don't want us to, because the thing is this: if we look forward to our political leaders, we never going to get out of our condition. Okay. All right, let's be clear about that. It's not politics that's going to get us out of our condition. All right, the only reason why we should fight in politics is because laws are being made against us, and laws have been made to keep us in a back of the bus. And we had to fight and die just to ride the front of the bus. We had to fight for education. We had to fight for voting. So political power or political leadership is necessary. But in order to pull us out, I believe, out of the condition that we're in right now, we have to be more on an economic leadership type of format.
The money,
right? We have to be, because other people, they come to this country, they're not necessarily fighting over who's going to be the council person or the committee person or the mayor, right? They come with an economic agenda because they here to drink the milk, right? So I think that the political leadership thing is important. We need to have political leaders, but also we need to have business tycoons who understand how to pull us up economically.
You gotta have the money first.
And that leadership, I think, is missing. But I think that leadership is going to come, and I think that leadership is forming now because we have more black millionaires and billionaires than we've had in history, and I think some of them are waking up to the possibility.
Can I just once again? I want to ask a question. Maybe it may pivot the conversation a little bit, but I agree with you, B. But what about the look of it? Like, all right, and what I mean by that is let's go to a national level. where Cardi B can get a audience with Joe Biden, and Ice Cube can make a contract for Black America. But we have people in place that are in the Black Caucus. You know what I mean? The Democratic Black Caucus, and they seem not to get or be effective at all. Be effective at all.
They're your leaders, brother. That's why you asked if I could name 5 leaders. You just named one of them. You would have laughed, but I would have named. Look, Cardi B, Offset.
That's what I'm saying. Why? But they can't be our leaders.
Brother, look at me.
That's the OP.
Kanye West said that he is going to run for president in the year 2024.
No, but I'm saying that I'm with you, Nestor. It makes
where it is.
like that.
But listen,
that's the picture that they're painting.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But we have to realize there is opposition to Black folks rising up. Let's just put that where it's at.
Okay.
And that opposition is always putting up people who they want us to look to as leaders. That's how you know that's the opposition. We know Cardi B ain't none of my damn leader. Like, how was she able to talk to Joe Biden on behalf of Black people at all? Right? Now, I applaud what Ice Cube did because he put some thought into it. I think he talked to some people and he's like, look, these people who supposed leaders, they don't want to talk to Trump. I want to talk to Trump. As any sane person should do. Is he going to be if he's going to be the president? Let's put our agenda in front of him. I was down with Cube with that. I was arguing with people on Facebook about that. Right? The people who were pushing the vote. Yeah, vote for what though? Vote for who for what? Right? But Ice Cube actually had something that I thought was worth looking at.
Yeah, was tangible. Yeah, definitely. Put it on paper.
Let's look at it.
From some people, Claude Anderson and all of them. You know what I mean?
Why we have to look to Clyburn? Why we have to look to that guy Clyburn? Told us to all vote for Joe Biden. I don't know Clyburn. I don't know you.
Not to knock the Cube, but it's like because Cube is an intelligent man, but it's at the same time I'm gonna twist like damn. Just like y'all said, at least he's got something on paper. But I'm gonna go back to you, Law. You just hit it. Why is it him?
Why not him?
All these other people in these other positions who are supposed to be at a greater level. Why is it him?
Why not him?
Listen to what Nestor's saying. Nestor is saying that the people who are supposed to be effective doing that.
Right.
Why? Now here's the deal. Why is it? Because I'm gonna say it like this, Nestor. Why is it that they don't show you the agenda of maybe a Democratic Black Caucus or whatever political group that's designed to do that? But they will talk about Cube.
Right.
Because it's two different. Because you got one that has been compromised and bought. Haven't y'all realized all of our
Ness, you saying that the caucus didn't have an agenda?
Brother, the agenda is what it is. It's that green.
About money.
Hush money. Be quiet. Take the money. You can reap the benefits. Put it on your resume. You can say it. You can own it. But when it comes down to collectiveness.
So you seriously believe that all of them sold us out for?
It ain't gotta be all. It ain't gotta be all. If there's 10 people in the room and 5 of them are this way, then what does the room matter? You see what I'm saying? Our leaders are individuals, Law. They have accepted the money. I see it on every level. I see it in my own profession. They accept the money.
But that's what.
Hold on 1 second. Just give me 1 second, boy. 1 second, because I just want to reiterate it because Miss Leslie just came back.
Thank you.
Just talking about why is it the look of why is it that we have people in place, and I was using the Black Democratic Caucus as an example, and they seem to be ineffective, but then somebody like a Cardi B or an Ice Cube gets the light shown on them for in the political realm, which they are not, but the ones that are there You know, they make it seem like they're not doing anything, but which can't be the case. You can't tell me that they've been.
But let me add, but this is the thing, right? If they looking at the black community, right, and they see that Cardi got 9 million followers, right, 10 million followers, and they try to get a message out. I'm just saying that just looking at pure numbers, they like, how can we get this message to black people, the ones who we want? Well, talk to Cardi B because everybody listen to everything she got to say. If she on Instagram, people watch it. No, listen.
I mean, by Black America,
it's sad because our children and our young people are following her and listening to what's coming out of her mouth.
I said it last week. The parents, they're failing them. They're failing the growth.
But also, if I may, since you reiterated for me, and thank you. Oh my God. Listen, but here's the problem too: is politicals or whomever leadership is for whatever messages we're talking about, they don't have a liaison into that forum. Let me tell you another thing about leadership too: is using all the tools at your disposal to get your message out.
Right.
Why was Hitler so thorough? Because they use the tools, the elements of communications. Everyone is not super smart like all of us are. Everyone is not super thoughtful like all of us are. Everyone doesn't have the same exposures that we have had. You know what I mean? Some people are persuaded and swayed by the crap they hear on the radio now. But remember, we grew up with Public Enemy. We grew up with Gangstar. We grew up with NWA. At least I did. You know what I mean? Yeah. So fuck that shit, because I ain't the one. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, right. Right. And see, that's why they had to kill those messages. And see, we realized that Public Enemy was replaced by Cardi B. We'd be mad as hell. We really realized that Chuck D was replaced by. How that happened? Right?
Replaced by who?
Cardi B.
No. Chuck D was not replaced by Cardi B. Chuck D just evolved in his life.
You missed the point.
Leslie got upset about that, bro.
If you think about it, you be mad. Like, who did that? Who was able to do that?
They pushed this in front of the mainstream.
You know who did that? You know who did that? Bob Johnson, when he sold BET, just so we could be the first black billionaire. You know what I mean? That's it.
It happened before that. The record labels had already sold us out.
Record labels was already selling us out back when Muddy Waters was doing things. They already been sold us out.
Chuck D emerged. Public Enemy emerged out of all of that. Still, Public Enemy emerged, right? And they was the number one hip hop group that was out. They emerged. No matter what happened, they emerged. They didn't know what to do with that message. Huh?
What happened with the message?
The message got put to the.
They call themselves black, but we'll see if they'll play this.
The irony of the whole thing is
because it's all about money.
The irony of the whole thing is Chuck D helped NWA. NWA was the first iteration of dumbing down black people and getting us on to.
Are you serious? No. Are you serious?
NWA.
Are you serious? No.
Listen to NWA.
Commentary.
Listen to NWA. I'm not against NWA. I'm not against NWA, but gangster rap was part of the downfall of the black community. It started changing our focus.
Hold on. It started
to change our focus from self-knowledge, education, to niggas with attitudes. All right?
That's right, because that's where niggas were.
All right, but so what was it? Look at the message. Go to the songs and listen and tell me how those songs was lifting us up.
Fuck that shit, because I ain't the one for a punk motherfucker with a badge and a gun to be beaten on. Thrown in jail, we could go toe to toe in the middle of cell. Fucking with me, because I'm a teenager with a little bit of gold in a pager, searching my car, looking for the product, thinking every nigga is selling narcotics. You rather see me in the pen than me and Lorenzo rolling in the benzo. What? Come on now.
All right. I'm with that. But listen, I was also with the Nations of the Gods and the Earths. All right. What happened to the X-Clan? What happened to the X-Clan?
What she's saying is if you listen to NWA's the lyrics, I mean,
the lyrics is telling you the real reality.
The commentary of the street.
It's not the reality. This stuff is Wonderland.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I'm not against. All I'm saying is this. I'm down with that. Hip hop is the commentary, all right. But hip hop also has to be uplifting and educational for us, all right. I was
agree.
down with now when the 5%ers and all that, they was kicking knowledge and all that.
But that is the ivory tower way of thinking.
But hold on. We know, but we know what's going on. A commentary is cool.
The regular motherfucker doesn't. We might, but the regular motherfucker doesn't.
He doesn't know what.
That motherfucker listening to 99, 100.3, whatever. They don't know.
They don't know that the police is whooping our ass. They don't know that.
They expect that. They don't even think it's almost an expectation of their lives. They don't even know or think of another way of living. Period.
Yeah, no, what's that rap they called the day? What's that called? They called not gangster, but it's that
drill.
Trap.
Drill.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Well, that's all. That's Chicago.
Listen, a lot of the music we listen to puts us in a mental trap, right? Also keeps us in a defeatist attitude. Keeps us with a victim mentality. A lot of it keeps us with a victim mentality.
But you know what the sad part is they don't realize they're a victim of themselves.
Unless we start feeding our minds, right, with positive, uplifting. And I'm not talking about let's all be happy. I'm talking about messages that change our thought pattern from being a victim to being.
So where's your politicians for that?
The gods and the kings.
They don't care.
Listen.
Where the Black Caucus for that?
All right, hold on. Just listen for 1 second, though.
Music is on repeat.
The problem was not NWA at all. The problem that came after them or preceded them is that the music became cookie cutter, and it was all about the negative. There was no more Tribe Called Quest. There was no more Native Tongue. There wasn't, you know what I mean? But when NWA was out, all those things were already out too. So you had a plethora.
And that's right. Watered it down. But what got promoted?
But I'm just saying, hold on. You can't say that. You can't put it on NWA because that is real. They were speaking of life, and that was a real thing. Just like come on, they speak about life.
They had No, I get that. I get that. I do get that. I get that.
The thing is,
people rap about what they know about, and it's a way out. And so I do get that. I'm not blaming. I'm not blaming NWA. What I'm saying is this: gangster rap got elevated at a certain point. It got elevated. All right, it got elevated.
Look, you was with me, Bug.
Yeah, I know.
We went to go see the movie that they made about the Quest. Remember?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
I mean, dude. NWA wasn't elevated no higher than when Questioning was.
I'm not talking about NWA. I'm talking about gangster rap.
Yeah, I'm using them as an example. I'm just using an example, B, because that's the one you use.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that I agree with you. Now, the negativity, and I don't want to call it NWA do negative, but their life has some negative moments in it, and that's what they shone the light on. Yeah. That's what they wrote, rapped about. I mean,
all right. So all right. I'm gonna say so what. All right. I'm gonna put it like that because I was bobbing my head to it. I was down with it. At the end of the day, it's like this. At the end of the day, it's like this.
Gangster rap went down when the labels say, "Hey, we can take this same ingredient, water it down, spice it down, and let suckers do it." I'll give you a real life example. Ain't got nothing to do with music. It's the same reason black people in the condition they are in the streets with crime. When they made crack and they made it available for everybody to sell. That's when you took levels from. That's when it became amateur night. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. Everybody ain't supposed to be selling crack, but you made it available. So now you got suckers in the game selling it. So now it becomes a sucker's game. You had a real McCoy in NWA, and what the white labelers did was say, "Well, hey, we can go find another street kid that may not have these life experiences, but for the money, he'll rap about it." You seen CB4?
Yeah. Gusto.
You
I like
see,
that.
that's what 90% of these rappers is now. Gustos, man.
Yeah.
They're not out here. They're not living
Cool,
it.
it's cool. I like
They're
CD4.
being paid to gimmick something that they've seen. And that's why the music is not the same. It's nowhere near NWA. They took something raw and turned it into entertainment.
Entertainment, yeah.
That's what they did. They turned it into a game.
Yeah.
And that's what they did with the
But
music.
listen, but Nesto, let me tell you, let me really, okay, so music, right? Let me get back to this whole idea of music, right? Say you went through the worst shit in your life and you put it on a song. I'm listening to the shit that you went through in my head on repeat. All right. What you the power of music is if you listen to something that somebody's saying, it's got a beat and a rhythm behind it. What it does, it seeps deeper into the subconscious because now you bobbing your head, you getting your emotions involved and all that. That's the power of music. I don't need to hear about all your trauma and all the shit that you went through. I understand what they was doing, but I'm saying what to put that message out. Just because it's entertainment and it was like, yo, that's what's going on in the streets. That don't mean it was good for us.
I agree,
That
Big.
don't mean it was good for us.
I propose
Just because she went away so she can recite the song.
What's the difference between that and Marvin Gaye talking about make me want to holler? Same content, different delivery.
Make you want
Same content, different delivery.
Listen, music.
But Marvin Gaye's thing is not promoted right now. Everything is about that
exactly
gangster shit.
Because they've accepted the delivery. The content was the same. If you listen to the music, they were talking about recession back then, police brutality back then, being poor back then. All that stuff was the same then. It was just the delivery.
That's exactly.
Man, let me tell you like this, right? All right, let's say if a nigga still, I'm a kill a nigga. If most of gangster rap is
saying
about
Marvin Gaye never said that, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying though. I'm just saying though. Just go back over the songs, right, and we'll see that it's about niggas killing each other. A lot of it, you know what I mean? Respect.
Yeah.
If you disrespect, it's most of it is about that.
I heard James Brown say with the big payback.
But he wasn't talking about what was he talking about though? He wasn't talking about black people playing black people.
Actually, that was a movie soundtrack.
He was talking about us getting our revenge, right? But so all
he said somebody took his girl. He said somebody touched his lady, bro.
It was a movie soundtrack, but the movie was never released.
Okay. Well, all I'm saying is this, and that's cool. But I'm just saying, a lot of our music, if you listen to real raw, the riggedy raw, and how raw it gets, it's about killing each other, man. A lot of gangster
I got you.
Sam Cooke was a known G in his day.
I agree, but
listen,
I'm gonna tell you,
I'm down with it. I'm like this. When I hear it, I'm like this. Yeah. But in the final analysis, the message that's being put over music is not really good for us.
No, because there's no love songs today. Do you hear any love songs today?
Huh?
Country music. There's no love songs today. Who make love songs?
all right, let me ask you this though. How about 50 Cent in the club? Ain't nothing positive about that.
It's a party song. It ain't talking about killing nobody.
It's talking about drop, you know.
The case, they popping perks,
dropping a few little extra glass.
All right, so this is what I'm trying to do, right? No, listen. I got a program where I'm trying to help people rearrange the subconscious through music and words of repetition, affirmations of repetition, right? We are attractive beings at the end of the day. What we think about is what we bring about. All right. You think about being victim, being a gangster. If you constantly got that on your mind, that's the reality that you are drawing towards yourself.
I got a solution.
Now, understanding these things, we will understand how important and how dangerous music really is. Right. You wouldn't even allow people to do anything to music and promote it and put it out because what it does to the mind. Right. So I'm not trying to really indict nobody, but music is so important. We don't even realize how important it is. Right.
So that's all. I understand the level of sensories B1. It's definitely influential.
Yeah, but I'm asking you, who's putting it out?
That's the key. See, and that's what's not busy. All of these things will be, but it has to be in your ear.
Yeah, what if these guys come up and they have a different message, everything B1's talking about, but they don't want to put it out.
Because they're trying to.
Now,
put it out.
you can now. What's stopping you from putting anything out?
Well, you can, but I mean, listen.
You're not going to make any money.
Let's not get it twisted, man. What's my man's name? Down south.
Who?
I mean, it's
Which
just the
one?
reality. Homer told you that. He said that. He said he want to speak. He want to talk real, but
Master P. Master P. Okay. Listen, great story, man. For every Master P, man, you got 2 million dudes who tried that and didn't do it. Okay, so yeah, you can get it out, but to make it hit like Master P did out the trunk of his car,
right?
Like that.
I mean, he did that without the internet.
MC Hammer did too. He did it that way.
But you got the internet now.
Listen, I agree.
Direct to consumer.
And guess what? And guess what that also does, B? It made that, one in a million, now 1 in a billion, because everybody is on the internet doing the same thing. Makes it easier, more efficient too. You know what I'm saying?
We gotta take a household.
You got a guy who never thought about doing it is I could try that. You know,
you gotta take a household.
You gotta be unique. You gotta get out there. You gotta be unique.
You gotta take your
Everybody
household.
can't do the same thing, man. And
no, they can't. But I'm just saying. I mean,
at the end of the day, and maybe you do. At the end of the day, if you're just trying to make a coin, right? You might want to try something else. Why do you want to create a song anyway? Like, why do you want to put out music anyway? Right? Is it because you got something that you want to share that can help somebody? Right? Like Lauryn Hill said one time, I thought music was supposed to inspire. How come we ain't getting no higher? Right?
Right. And where is she?
Yeah, but I'm just saying though. But I think that was a true statement, right? So people are just putting out music and there's no inspiration to it. It's not inspiring.
Bro.
Who gives you the right? Hold on. Who gives you the see? The thing is this: everybody got these devices, and everybody got the right to do what they want, right?
Right.
But the thing is this, right? You got people that's living their lives according to their lower desires. They doing all kinds of foul shit, right?
Yeah,
they making music. They making music,
of course,
right?
exactly.
So hold on, they got the power, the ability to make music, but should they be making music to influence somebody else?
No, but guess what?
That's all I'm saying.
You have liberties. You have liberties in this country that allow it, and it sucks. It's just that.
But I'm saying, but a lot of people have been traumatized, right? And so these people now have a microphone. They can go into a studio. So all I'm saying is this: I'm not trying to prevent anybody from doing anything, but at the end of the day, if you're going to put out a message, over music, it should be something that will inspire and not damage somebody mentally or harm somebody mentally.
I agree. But again, your leaders did.
Huh?
I agree.
All your leaders did. We're not the only 4 or 5 people talking about this and know this. For everything that you're saying, I'm assuring you, there's a black senator, black mayor, black congressman, black caucus member, black urban league member that knows the exact same thing. Where are they?
They have talked about this.
They know what?
Where are they? They don't go up against the record labels. They don't go up against the media. Look,
because the
videos exploit mostly our women. They exploit mostly our women in every which way. They mostly exploit our men in certain ways. They see these things. They don't act on it. That's why I'm gonna keep saying it.
I agree.
Parents, you're gonna have to, parents, if you're listening, you're gonna have to keep your children in reality. Like, okay, you listening to this music, but you're gonna have to tell your children this ain't real. This is not how we do things.
Yeah. Yo, do y'all remember when we were younger, the whole push to get rid of bad billboards in our neighborhoods? Do y'all remember that? The
tobacco?
Yeah, the tobacco, the 40 ounces, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You remember that? Do y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Kings probably. Well, the billboards that they used to put up and how come they got Sunny Delight and we got Crooked Eye, Cokie 900 and stuff like that. But this is just my opinion, but to me it's just that the music has replaced
billboard.
Yes, yes, because the media is larger now. Hey, brother, let me tell you something that we don't do. Let me tell you what we don't do. We should say this to ourselves and say it slowly. www.worldwide web. People don't understand that when they type that in. Like, it's the ultimate billboard.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the ultimate billboard. You don't need the billboard. Why touch a community when I can touch the whole planet?
Mm-hmm.
It's brother. I said it in the beginning. It's about the sensories. They've beaten us. They've defeated us, man, because they don't have to hang us, whip us. They got us right here where they want us, with the music, the television, the social media. Our kids are drawn to it, and the parents are giving the generation away. Here, go
right,
listen to it.
So here's the deal. We got 5 minutes left. So here's the deal. We always talk about it. Listen, anybody got a solution? Or at least a starting point, a step-off point, man. Something. Talk to me.
I'm just going to say one word and you can have it. Parenting.
I got you.
If you can do it.
But I mean, a leader, to be a good leader, you have to have some type of strong faith, within yourself and within your the people that are going to represent you. A leader is important because you got to have that strength to guide people to where they need to go, where they need to go.
They can't be scared. You're right, bro. Can't be scared.
And I just think that a lot of people don't want to be leaders because they don't go through the backlash of.
They don't want them consequences. You right, Book. Right, Book. They don't want them consequences.
Yeah, they want those consequences, and I think that's where a lot of people are backing up from being leaders, and I think that's where the issue is going to be. This corruption trials. The white senators, congressmen to do it back then. Why to go through this? They're gonna do the same thing with me. They're gonna come hard on me with the white congressman did the same thing. Why I got in office? So I guess a lot of people don't want to go through that. That's scrutiny.
They saw a master degree make you a leader. That's what make you a leader. Go get your master degree.
I don't think it makes
you can be sure you can.
Sure, I'm gonna tell you. Hey, listen.
You're pigeonholed. You can't really do much.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, man. And people don't want to step out there because it's a sacrifice, and you're putting yourself out there. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, what we're doing right now is actually part of taking on leadership. Like, I'm gonna tell you, if somebody was to listen to this podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I say, well, so hopefully people will listen.
Yes,
maybe they might think I'm against. Maybe I might think I'm against NWA. I'm not against NWA. I'm trying to make a point.
We got you.
Right. The thing is this: once you start opening your mouth about subjects, you become a leader, right? People think that you put your opinion out there, so now you open to be scrutinized, and that's what people are afraid of. They don't want to take on that risk of really being scrutinized and having their business out in the street or something that's uncovered about them because they got haters now. Yeah. So I think you're right. People are, it's a risky business being a leader.
Well, then like I said, then black people chalk it up.
Yeah.
Chalk it up then, because if you ain't gonna stand for nothing, you're gonna fall for anything. And if you're gonna fall for anything, you might as well go ahead and fall over the cliff now. I mean, straight up. I mean, that's just the reality. That's just the reality of it. Y'all don't even understand. And it's like I said, it's not just politics, corporate America. They hand picking these people. They're hand picking. They're hand picking people. I'm telling you, you got a master's, you money eager. They're coming for you. They want you because you're easy to compromise.
That's what it's about.
But you don't want to
compromise. We'll give you a good salary. We'll make you oversee other people, make you feel like you're doing something. And guess what that'll do? That'll cool you down. You won't think about nothing else. You won't worry about other agendas. You got your money. You in your little box. You get to eat your food. You're happy.
So let's look it out for themselves.
Hey, imagine what this world would have looked like if the men before us looked out for themselves.
I agree.
Man.
Yo, all right. So we up on it, y'all. Yo, once again.
Oh, I could do that one again. We need to do this part 2 of this, man. We need to do part 2 of this, bro.
You got that part.
We do, because I got a real story. I got a real story in my life about this, where have witnessed this. I've witnessed people do things on an employment level that were blatantly racist, and they were black. They weren't blackmailed. They took money. People took the money to be quiet. I've seen it. I've seen black people sell each other. I've seen it.
All throughout history, man, that's been the case.
Black Jews still exist.
That's
Beware.
true.
They're still out here in bunches. They still here. Black Judas. They still here. Beware.